What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tsla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. We'll talk about some very key levels to watch for and why there's a big support to watch for on SPY. And how things are looking, my personal opinion, looking at these charts. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon, in just about 2 weeks from now. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, looking at SPY, I drew out this pennant yesterday. As you can see, when we hit the lower end of this, we like to bounce. And as we hit the 608 area, we tend to reject. And we're just going back and forth and back and forth. Now, this morning, what I said is I was expecting this to dip back down to the lower end of this pennant near 604. That's exactly where SPY went to so far. But now we're holding the support. If you guys look at the support, this is where this trend line is. We have to bounce off this and start pushing to not only fill the gap and make our way up to the upper trend line. So there's a chance we might get a 2-point bounce back up there and then come back down, just get tighter and tighter. There's a very, very good chance that's what's about to happen. And whether we break this pennant or not may depend a lot more on something else like FOMC. So I'll talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. Let's first focus on this data. Note that for today, there's nothing too significant when it comes to earnings, but tomorrow we do have more retail like General Mills and such. And Thursdays we have like FedEx, Nike, and many more. So earnings are not going to be too serious or crazy for now. However, just know this, today is Tuesday, December 17th. Very soon, about 12 minutes from now, we have the industrial production and manufacturing numbers. This may cause some volatility, so watch to see what this leads to, at least for the markets. With that being said, there's nothing else that's too crazy. We just have like business inventories data, then very, very minor bill and bond auctions at 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's pretty much it. For as far as the market goes, just know that tech is what was leading the market yesterday. And then as far as Nvda goes, Nvda unfortunately has been dipping quite a bit. It's showing a little bit of weakness, especially after, the probe. Ever since that probe news in China came out, that was like what led to a little bit more downside. I didn't see anything else too crazy in the news. Don't forget, we do have Jerome Powell and the Fed giving their FOMC report tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. We're just 1 day away from this. That's going to be a big market moving catalyst. But for now, let's focus on the charts. What do I see moving forward? So once again, there's nothing too crazy in terms of data coming out. It's not that insane. So we'll have to see how this goes. Anyways, for SPY, I did mention to everyone in my video from yesterday that there was a good chance that we would try to, continue to do this. This is all we're doing so far. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we might just continue to this back and forth thing like this. This is what SPY is going to likely continue to do. So that implies we might be looking for a bounce here to retest 606.8-ish, and then we might be coming back down to the 604s and just continue this sideways price action until FOMC, when Jerome Powell causes either a big pump or a rug pull. That's going to be tomorrow. So that's likely what the market's going to do until then. So as long as 604 holds, we're looking for a pushback up to 606. If we break the 606.8 area, we're looking for 608 as our target. If we lose 604, we're looking for 603. I'm favoring a push and then a rejection for us to stay range bound for now. I do want to mention that as far as ES goes, we are gapping up very nicely. It is possible it dips a little bit more to retest the 6111 area. We'll see if we bounce off that. But there might be a tiny little dip that could be coming here before it attempts to rebound. Overall, I'll be watching that very, very closely. For others out there, we have Nvda. Now, let me call out Nvda. Nvda is not looking that great because we have a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder here. We're going to be watching how well we can try to get back above 130. If not, 128 is likely going to be coming. Then 125. So watch those supports if 130 does not hold. If we get back above 130, we could push for 132 and eventually back up to 134.5. So we'll see about that, but just know we are looking a bit more bearish off this head and shoulders like structure. And there's going to be a risk of us dipping to 128 and 125 if that does not bounce. So keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, we look more bullish. We're looking for 107,500 as our resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 108,000 plus. So we could be trying to break out there. So look for an attempt to get back up to 108,000. We'll see what kind of reaction we get. As far as Tesla goes, Tesla's an absolute monster. There might be some consolidation in this like 470 range for some time before it starts to break out. But I think that these are the levels to watch for. So if we get above 475, we look for 478, then 480 plus. Then 485 would be our next target above that. If we lose 470, we're looking for a move back down to 466, then 463. Overall, this is favoring that it might consolidate a bit here, and then it may eventually try to break and test 480. Just know it is a tough resistance, but we could still break it later on. Tesla's still bullish overall in terms of its trend. NQ is gapping up here. We'll have to see if this does dip a little bit. We could be on our way down to about 22,300. We'll see if we bounce off that. If not, I'm looking for 22,250. So look for a test of 22,250 to 22,300 in that range. We'll have to see if we bounce off that or not on NQ. For the QQQ, we're holding up nicely. It is possible it dips a little bit more. It's about 535, just a little bit before it attempts to rebound. But overall, it's still bullish. It looks very bullish right now, especially as Tesla's holding up. So this could dip a bit before it tries to bounce, and we could be on our way up to 540 plus to 542. There's more upside potential so long as we don't lose 531. If 531 fails, I will turn more bearish, but for now, it looks like it could dip a bit to 535 before it bounces. It goes up to the 540s. For Apple, we're on a very, very nice uptrend right now. We could retest 250 to 248 depending on our 20 EMA. And then we could bounce off this and just continue this push for 252 to 254. So look for a dip and a bounce is the most likely possibility. For other factors out there, we have the IWM Russell 2000. We have this very interesting channel right now. As you guys can see, we're just very, very tight. We have to see if we could try to reclaim it. We could hit this and then continue to dip. If we hit the resistance at 233 and reject, we could be on our way back down to about 231. So there's weakness here because it's continuing to reject. So 231 could be retested. I'll have to see if we bounce off that or not. So keep that in mind for this. We might see a move to 231 before it attempts to rebound because there's weakness on the IWM. For Coinbase, we're trying to push here. As long as we do not lose 315, we could be attempting to get back up to 325. So there could be a bounce coming. Amazon could be pushing for 235, as we look more bullish. So it's showing potential here. Could be pushing for the 235s. So long as we don't lose 229, we remain more bullish, making a very, very nice uptrend. So it looks quite strong in my opinion. For others out there, we have Meta, which is consolidating. We could be pushing for 628 to 630 if that breaks. So it looks pretty good. Microsoft is also holding up very, very nicely as well. So this could, it could retest 447 before it tries to bounce, but we're riding this 20 EMA nicely. So look for a dip and a bounce is the most likely possibility. And Google could be pushing up for 200 plus. It is possible we consolidate around 196 to 198 for some time before it tries to break out. We'll have to see if we can break past 200. It's going to be a tougher resistance, but that's pretty much it for my videos. So as far as the market goes, we're going to be looking at this range on SPY to see if we could continue to bounce here. And otherwise, just be very, very careful when you guys watch the trend, and I'll be back with another video in just a couple of hours. Until then, I thank you for listening and peace out.